Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sauropod Squad. Here on the channel, our theme is dinosaurs, like the stego behind us. But our passion is for a variety of games, and if that's your vibe, then I welcome you. You found your herd. Everybody, I've been spending a little bit of time over the weekend doing some work. Can you tell what I did if you've seen the last few episodes? I'll give you a few seconds to see what's different, see what's missing, just like that last challenge. Last time it was the flowers. This time, everybody, the hint is in my hand. It's torches. I hit all the torches. Look, they're hiding. I think it makes a massive difference of the way this exhibit looks, because it doesn't look Minecrafty, right? Other than the fact that it's still all blocks, right? it's always gonna look a little Minecrafty, but the more we can do with details and the less intrusive torches we can have not spammed everywhere, the better. And everybody, while I was doing that, the Dryos kept breeding and breeding and breeding. If you take a look at the mini-map, I'll zoom in right here. If you take a look at all those white dots, those are all Dryos. Keep in mind, we still have one stego. I've yet to add more stegos in here, so they haven't had a chance to breed. But if I just run up here to this cliff, they love to hang out in this, I think I was calling it like the Alpine Prairie up here. They're just everywhere, absolutely everywhere. And you can also tell all the natural grass they've eaten, like this stuff, right? The Minecraft grass. They like to eat it, even though this stays stocked and they're within like a 2-chunk border of this. They should path to this, but they're just not. They're just eating all the grass, which is fine in the end. I mean, that's why we put all the other details in. But I mean, it is what it is, right? But folks, I asked you guys about some names, and if I open my inventory here, you can see a bunch of names. I am happy to say every single name you guys recommended for Dryos is here because we have so many. So I've gone ahead and I used to have 25 levels, but now I have 7. So let's go on a bit of a naming marathon, shall we? Now, one thing I do want to do is make sure that the girl names go to the girls and the boy names go to the boys. So we've got a male here. Hello, Bob. Also, my game was being weird. Anytime I typed in B, it like canceled out my the typing, so every B has to be capitalized. So this is Bob. All right, who we got here? This is a timid female. We'll give you Lucy. This one's gonna be Hazel. I think this one's a male just by looking at the colorization. Is that right? That is right. That's cool. Maybe I can tell them just by looking at them when they're fully grown. Anyway, this one is going to be Elias. This little girl right here is going to be Willow. This one right here is going to be Professor Oak. I'm a bit biased for that one. Kind of like it. Got the Pokemon skin here. Big fan of that. This one's going to be Ash. Now, the person recommending a lot of these tree names is because Dryosaurus means like tree lizard or something like that. So they're all meant to kind of represent what the Dryo stands for, which is a bunch of trees. Hence, Professor Oak, Ash, Willow, all of these. This one is going to be Maple, which is very fitting because we've got all these green maple leaves sitting around in the Dryo exhibit. Alright, I need to find 2 hooligans off on their own, doing their own thing. Who wants to be? You're by yourself. These two. These two look like a Dilly and a Dally. I'm gonna make you, little one, Alder. You, sir, are going to be Aspen. Off in this corner, we've got Timo. And for our last one that we have names for right now, you are going to be Cherry. Now, this is obviously way more... We have way more Dryos than we have names, so if you guys have more Dryo names, just keep them coming. We can fill up this entire exhibit. At a certain point, they'll stop breeding. I think it's just gonna be a lot of Dryos before they do that. And now for the big girl herself... the Stegosaurus, where did she roam off to? I got a lot of really good names for the Stegos, and we will probably come back here later when I get more Stegos in here and name them as well. Where is she? Oh, I think I see her. There she is, hiding up in the Alpine Hill. For this one, I really like the recommendation that one of you basically repeated the joke that I said, that she looks like a jitterbug, and I like that. So you are going to be Jitterbug, our first Stego. Alright, folks, we get those name suggestions in and keep them coming throughout the series. But today, folks, we are going to shift our focus. You saw the thumbnail. I don't even know what it is yet because I have yet to make it. But we're going to get out of the Dryo and Stego exhibit. It's been a good few episodes in here. I'm very happy to have it done. Quote-unquote done, right? This is an ever-evolving park, so we will probably come back and work on the wall some more and add some more features here and there. But I think our episode is going to take us over yonder. We're going to have to move out of the exhibit area and head back on over to the park maintenance section. But yeah, we're going to be heading on over there and working on the food plant. I don't really have a name for it. The food infrastructure area. Maybe I'll come up with a better name for it by the end of this episode. But we need to be using the create mod. Also, look how many turtles. Do you guys see what I mean by turtle problem? Oh my god. We'll get to this corner of the park eventually. But, geez Louise. We're off over here to build a contraption with the create mod, hopefully automating a bunch of food. Now, the food that we're going to need is going to be, I've chose cow, just because cooked beef is going to give a lot of saturation for us. I don't know if it really matters for the dinosaurs, if I'm honest. Like, I don't know if it fills them up more. If it does, great. It's not going to hurt to have more hunger being filled. But to get this up and running, not only are we going to have a bunch of cows, but we need to basically use wheat we need to automate wheat so that we can automatically breed these cows. And the cows are going to be going into a chamber and then bred by the wheat. And then that'll give us the cooked meat as well as leather, which will be kind of nice. And then on top of that, we're going to have to do some more herbivore food as well. So I'm thinking probably just carrots. We do have the potato thing underneath here that Al worked on way back when, if you remember. There's some baked potatoes down there, but we need one for not us. We need some for the creatures. Now, as I've been staring over here, I'm thinking this is probably the location. It's kind of connected to the monorail line if we need to, make a stop. I also do need to eventually come through here and make my monorail station. It's another thing on Al's list, but again, now that Al is kind of out of the server and it's more single player, this whole area is pretty much up to me to fill like creeper holes. So I'm gonna have to come through here and make this station. I also want to pave roads, and so it's not going to be dirt over here. It's going to be concrete, look like asphalt, and be really good. But as you see that train rolling in, the underground train line, I can actually hop into spectator mode for you guys just to kind of show you what's going on down here in the bowels of the server. Again, it's a mess, but we've got all these train lines that wrap around and go to and fro. So it'd be to and from. But we can easily branch it off and kind of come this way and have a whole system down here going around the park, right, and dropping off all the food for the dinosaurs. But that only needs to basically have one big anchor spot. So I'm really thinking this spot right here is going to be our spot for today, which I obviously need a lot of work done because these guys are spawning. So, folks, I think I'm going to get to work. I don't think you need a time-lapse for this one. I'm just going to kind of chop this down, make it a little bit more flat land, get rid of some of the mossy stones and cobbles, and just kind of tidy it up, light it up, get this area ready to work with. And with the power of editing in 1/360... Alright. Easy, right? Man, you gotta love the power of editing. Alright, guys, so this is going to be the area, and I think this is going to be about the size of the building. It might need to be a little bit longer, but I'm thinking it's coming to about here. And as far as the design on this, I actually sat down and figured it out between the cut there, and I know exactly what I want. So imagine just a really boring rectangle. Okay, I'm talking normal warehouse, like an Amazon warehouse, a Walmart warehouse, just a normal warehouse that is kind of tucked to the side of like an area and doesn't really look that great. I'm still going to put some detail into it, of course. Get out of your seats. Yeah, it's going to be very, very, very basic and look like a warehouse, right? Like this one looks like a nice kind of modern facility. And then, of course, we've got our kind of like old school brick building over there. This one's going to be very much concrete. I might add some white concrete just for details, but it's very much going to be like gray and black and just very basic, right? Very, very basic. But if you could imagine right here, the road, like the entrance is going to be here for the big building, and then I'll have a road that kind of cuts through here. I got to chop down more of this stuff. It'll go underneath the arch of the monorail and connect back up here. And again, just like the road over there that I mentioned, this road here is going to be completely redone, and it'll be paved and probably have like signs. It might even look like streets and stuff like that. We'll see how far I go and what design I want to end up going with, but paved road for sure. Now, what this is going to look like is, imagine a big door in the middle. You walk in, and we're going to have 4 modular cow crushing stations. Now, I'll show you more once we get the kind of mechanisms up and running. I'm going to build kind of I'm going to make it functional and then add the form over it. But basically, we're going to have cows. They're going to be fed by wheat. And the wheat is going to be grown back here. So at the back of the building is going to be two levels. The first floor is going to be growing a bunch of carrots for the herbivores. Second floor is going to be growing a bunch of wheat, both for breeding the cows, but also I need some over in the lab for the biogoo, right? I would just love to have unlimited wheat, and then I don't have to worry about that side of the things. And then I can worry about zombie flesh and milk and the other the other things I need for all the biogoo for all these fossils. But the idea basically is the carrots are going to simply be made here and then drop down. And underneath, I'm going to have a bit of a basement. And the basement is going to be where a lot of things are connected to the trains. And again, we'll see how far I get along with the trains in this episode. I think I'll probably save that for later. But I still want to set it up so that everything with the conveyor belts and the crate mod is being sent where it needs to be, right? So the carrots are going to be sent downstairs. The wheat is going to be on the second floor, and that's on purpose because I want the conveyor belts to kind of run from the wheat down the middle of the warehouse, right? So you can imagine you walk in, you've got modular section 2 on the left, modular section 2 on the right, and then a big conveyor belt going to the middle and separating off to all 4 areas. This should, in theory, make it so that our wheat is separated equally. Although it'll probably just be backed up, let's be real, because it's Minecraft. That's how good efficient farms work. Is that just make sure that the wheat is always filled. And then, the wheat will breed the cows will have babies, the babies will drop down into a chamber. When those babies grow up, unfortunately, they will be slaughtered and killed, and that will drop us into a fan. Now, if I put a fan, an encased create mod fan by hot air, it will blow hot air into the meat and cook it, which is really cool. So we'll end up getting cooked meat and other stuff. Also, hold on, I need to kill this guy because he killed me later. I meant earlier. He killed me earlier. I'm gonna go full on war with this guy. You guys ready? I may die on camera, or I may get an epic kill. Where is he? What a shot! What a shot! Almost. Hail Mary! Oh, I moved. Alright, he's running away. He's scared. But yeah, so that's going to create all the food that we need, as well as the vegetables. So I'm very excited. Now, it is going to take me a while, guys, and I'm not the best create mod designer. Oh, get that back. But I will show you guys the YouTube video that I'm getting some inspiration from. Going to grab that and do my best to kind of copy what they've got going on there in our own design here. But again, with the power of editing, this will probably take me quite a lot of time, but I'm going to bring you guys what I just talked about and show you guys the final project. And from there, we can have automated food, which is really exciting. I'll explain what it does, and then we can go into a bit of a time lapse of building the building around the whole thing. All right, folks, wish me luck. It's create time. All right, folks, it has been a very, very productive 2 days for me since that last cut. I've learned a lot about create. Are you ready to see the monstrosity behind me? You might be able to get a sneak peek in the minimap, but here we go. I'm hitting the F5. Boom. You know what, for this, I think, well, let's run around first, and I'll hop into spectator mode and show you really what's going on. Also, listen how loud it is. There are so many cows. So for this, I'm actually going to mute. All right, we're gonna turn friendly creatures down because it gets annoying. Or maybe I'll make it low for you guys just so you understand what I was listening to for the past 2 days. But yes, this is the cow crusher in all its glory. I have 4 of them. Now, I need to give a shout out to Polart, who made the video, the link in the description for the guide video that I watched. But this is his design. All I've done is done a monstrosity of conveyor belts on top and modulated it, I guess, or scaled it up. He has 1 in his design. I made 4 of them, right? So let's go ahead and hop into spectator here, and I can kind of show you exactly what's going on. All right, so this farm, this is how this guy works. You've seen this before, the rotating harvester, right? This is how we have our tree farm set up. It's exactly the same idea and concept and functionality, except this time, instead of like tree saws, they have harvesters on the front. The harvesters automatically collect the plants. What's really cool is that it doesn't need to be replanted. So you don't have to do anything with deployers or anything like that. It just will automatically collect the wheat, and then the wheat is just ready to grow again. So that goes around and around and around. Hooks up here in the portable storage interface through the smart chute into the chest. And then here I had to start learning how to use brass tunnels. Now, brass tunnels are really cool. They're essentially like andesite tunnels, like funnels. But essentially when things go into one brass tunnel, all brass tunnels next to it are connected within themselves. So basically I have everything going here, and I've got filters on the front. This one is filtering out seeds, because we're getting a little bit of wheat seeds. And then this one is filtering out what we really care about, which is the wheat. So the wheat goes here, takes a left, goes all the way over here, goes down the chutes over here, turns around on this one, and then there's a few left over from when I was building it. But then they go into here. Now, what's cool about this is they go through this middle one here, and I've blocked off the middle path, so it has to go on the right or the left, and I've turned it into the round robin mode. There's a few modes that the brass tunnel can do, but the round robin basically means that it'll do this one, then it'll do that, this, and that, and that. Whether it's a stack or whether it's not, and I don't really care. I just want it to kind of separate out to all four areas. So anyway, that separates into two, right? Then this lane goes down over to here, separates once again into these two lanes. This one gets fed over into this one, and this one gets fed over there, yada, 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 right? What's going on in here is that the deployer is taking that wheat through the chute into the deployer. The wheat is being, it's force breeding the cows, and the cows are having babies. Now you can see here, sometimes the babies don't actually fall, and that's actually okay because they'll end up growing up and just entity cramming and killing the cows anyway. So whether they entity cram and grow up there, or whether they do what they're supposed to, which is have the babies come over here and fall, you can see over on this one has successfully done it. The babies are down there. Now the babies have these saw blades going above their heads, which is terrifying, but welcome to Minecraft, right? If it's not trapping villagers in dungeons, it's doing horrendous things to the Minecraft mobs. But basically, once they grow up, they'll be tall enough to get hit by these saw blades, which then drops their loot through the chute down here into this conveyor belt. Now this conveyor belt has a fire with a encased fan, which is blowing hot air. Basically, this will cook the meat, and I've got filters here saying only let cooked meat in, so the raw meat gets stuck. Wonder if we can find one getting stuck. Maybe not, but yeah, the raw meat gets stuck, so we only get cooked meat, and here we get the leather and steak and nothing raw, which is exciting because that's exactly what we need. Now over here on the first two levels, I'm not growing wheat. I've got carrots, and this is for the herbivores. I had one, but then I was like, I don't know if I need two or three even. I was even debating having a second wheat, which we could do, but I think the output is fine. The good thing about this is if I ever need to run the cows for more food, because, you know, we have the whole Cretaceous area, we're going to get a lot of carnivores, a lot of meat eaters. This is modular in the sense that we can just increase the output of wheat, and then the more wheat that goes through, the more that these are being bred, because currently these cows aren't being bred at max speed, but that's fine. And so yeah, you can see the machine is actually rather slow. I mean, it goes at the speed of wheat, right? So when one wheat is done, that will feed one cow and get one cow ready to breed. And then we just kind of wait around until another wheat goes in and goes into the same chamber, and then they get a baby cow. So it's very likely, honestly guys, it's very likely that I'll have to scale this up. But I am going to build the building in a way that I could just make this a tower. I don't think we'll need too many more, if really any, because the whole thing is I can AFK here overnight. I think if I'm in this chunk, I think I'm too far for the dinosaurs to be loaded in, and thus they're not actually eating, which is great. It means this side of the park will be easy to AFK, and then when I'm over on that side of the park doing doing actual stuff with the dinosaurs, that's when I need to worry about them feeding and eating and hopefully not dying. Now, one thing I am thinking about just while flying around here is I am wondering if there's a flaw in the machine, and maybe you guys can let me know in the comment section and we can kind of work on it together to fix this. But if we have a wheat go into here and this deploys, right, this is going to put one cow into breeding. I don't know if that breeding lasts forever, or if it can run out, right? Because we need 2 wheat to go down one area to get 1 baby cow, essentially. And if it's going to take quite a while, it's obviously not doing very fast as we watch it. I don't think I've even seen a wheat go by, but it does run. Trust me, like you've seen, we've got some meat in the chests for all the days I've been working on this, all the hours I should say. But yeah, I need to look into that because that could be a flaw in the machine, and then it wouldn't run at all, which means I definitely need to get quite a few more layers of wheat. But again, totally modular, can just go up and up and up and up and up until it gets ridiculous, and we could even, we can go down if we really need to. I'm also having tons of turtle problems. What's new? That's why you can see I built this wall here to keep them out. They were getting, when I was building, they were getting in the machines, they were getting in the weeds, they were just, they're such a problem, so I had to wall it off. But I do think that this is going to be essentially the main outline of the building. Now we are going to dive into a time-lapse in just a minute. The weather. But yeah, we're going to dive into a time-lapse of this building. I've got kind of an idea for it. I really want this to be the opening, and then when you walk in here, this will be kind of closed off, and it'll basically be like hard hats only as you walk in here, because watch this. If I jump, oh, it hurts, guys. It's a dangerous little corridor in there. So that'll be kind of closed off and basically be like employees only beyond this point, right? It's obviously a factory or like a warehouse, so stuff like that will be fine. And then I've got this designed so that it's pretty much a hallway here. I want to make these dirt staircases that I've been using to build, I do want them to be like catwalks. So imagine this whole area kind of closed off on the ground, if you will, like walls, but we'll be able to easily see into the glass sections through the catwalks. And then when you get kind of over here, I need to figure out if I go up and under, or what do I do with this. It's kind of gotten in my way, but I didn't really have anywhere else to put it. So I do got to figure that out. Oh, look, there's a wheat. See, it does work. Just not very fast yet. Oh, there's another one too. Cool. Oh, they're rolling in. Awesome. Maybe we just hit a patch where they weren't growing that fast. But that is great to see. Great to show you guys, I should really say. But yeah, as we get through the catwalks, I want this kind of farming area to be, imagine like another big wall kind of here. So this is catwalks around the cows, and then when you get to the actual farming area, these are going to be self-closed and contained, probably with like glass. I need to get in there and actually get good torches, maybe redstone lamps or something up on the roof to really light this up, because you know me, I don't like my torch spam. But I do need to light up these crops so that they can actually grow pretty quick. That's pretty important as far as the efficiency for this farm. And then, of course, another staircase going up from the 2nd level up to the 3rd level and beyond up to, 4th or 5th, depending on how many I deem necessary to do this. I think I am going to build the building with just what we have now. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to build it so that the roof is pretty modular and I can just go up. But folks, I am extremely satisfied with this project. As I've been saying throughout this video, I'm not the craziest create mod player, but I'm really enjoying learning it. This taught me a lot, working with the conveyor belts more than I ever have before, working with the brass funnels, and the rotors, or what are these things called? Gearbox, that's what they're called, not the rotors. They rotate, but yeah, working with the gearbox and learning how to kind of alternate them like we did underneath the lab over there. It's been a lot of fun. This mod is fantastic. Also, I need to figure out what to do with the grass seeds. I can't have them just falling down here. We might just torch them, or maybe there's one, or maybe we just drop them in lava, or just into a big chest system or something, because I kind of want the seeds, but I don't really know if we need them at this point. But folks, with that said, I do think it is time to get into the time-lapse portion of today's video. Fourth wall break, again, it is now Wednesday, and I have about tonight and tomorrow to finish this build. So I don't know how far we will get, I will be real, but I do want to get at least a shell around this. And then if we have to do like super details, we can come back and finish that up in a future episode. But it is time to get at least some sort of building around this, guys. So sit back, kick back, grab a snack, and enjoy the tunes. I'm feeling like a Mario Kart song today. Does that feel good? That sounds good. Let's get some Oh, maybe Moo Moo Farms. Or is it Moo Moo Meadows? I think it's Moo Moo Meadows. I forget, honestly. One of the two. Anyway. Oh, with the weather. And the fireworks. All right, lots of happening. Let's get the cutscene. And with that, the warehouse is complete. Now, it does just kind of, it's just a box, like I mentioned, right? It's just kind of a big rectangle. I would love to give it a little bit more angles, right? Some more depth in the building so that it didn't just look like a flat box. But honestly, that's just kind of what warehouses look like in real life. So as I was building this, I was like, oh, should I add angles here? Should I do this? Should I do that? And then I just kind of came to the conclusion that doesn't really need it. It's just kind of meant to be a box, right? But let's head on in here and welcome you guys on in. Remember, guys, hard hats required. Saw blades are active. I think before the cut, I mentioned to you guys I was gonna have like a big wall, but then I realized there's no way to like not show the clippy saws, so I just threw up a black wall here. I think it's gonna be fine. This is, you know, it's farms. It's part of Minecraft, right? Where it just kind of gets a little messy in the farming area. Speaking of messy, I decided not really to do much over here, and that's because once we get up to the catwalks, I actually liked how open it was. So it feels a little unfinished, I suppose. But again, it's just kind of. I like the ability to run up on these catwalks and look down and see everything, especially because when I was building, I was having concrete fall into the system and dirt fall into the system, so I had to go back into the deployers and change everything out. And it's really nice that I can see everything at a glance, right? And I don't have to. I'm not covering it up and like digging through walls and corridors and stuff like that. But I love these catwalks. I think they came out really good. You can actually see underneath to see the conveyor belt, so that's pretty sick. And then, yeah, up here you can see all 3 layers doing their thing. But while I was building all of this, the farm has been running. The cows have been being bred, more or less, right? So they did get kind of shut off when I got some dirt stuck in there. But check it out. We've got 50 in there. We've got almost 2 stacks in there, so this one's a little bit more active. Over here, look, we've got some in there. Oh, I've got a dirt in there. Okay, let me show you guys how I was fixing this. Super annoying when dirt gets in there because it actually clogs the system, right? Because I've got the filter there, and dirt is not on the filter list. So I've been having to kind of dig in here, get my open hand out, and grab it manually. Come here, dirt. There it goes. And then once we get it, we can close it back up. So again, just another reason why I do kind of like that this is open, that I can kind of see what's going on, and then I can, you know, come check the systems every now and then, make sure things are functioning well. Yeah, we got another almost 2 stacks in that one, and what's this? Another stack. So it looks like some of them are running a little bit faster, but it is what it is. It's a little bit random as far as the amount of wheat that gets put into each. I'm diverting them equally, but sometimes when you harvest wheat, you get 3. Sometimes you get 2, right? So it does differ just a little bit. Now, I still got to come out here and make the path and do all that stuff, but this took me quite a while. A lot of it was honestly getting the resources. The concrete and whatnot is time consuming, but because of this warehouse and really because of the crusher, I was able to get concrete really fast, right? We can get gravel, we can get sand super easily, combine those up, and then I realized when I was building, I was like, oh, I would love black concrete, but dye is kind of a pain to get, right? You usually have to go into the water down there, into the river, and dig up the ink sacks. But if I go ahead and show you guys this, let's see, concrete. If I go here to black concrete, then I go to black concrete powder, and I go click on black dye, you can actually crush charcoal. which is awesome. So because we've got automatic tree farms, we've got endless wood. I just burned the wood with the wood to get the charcoal, and then I crushed a bunch of charcoal to get the black dye and the gray dye, and that's how I got all of the cool colors here without much effort. I mean, it took some time, right? It's not the fastest thing in the world, but it beats going out and getting a bunch of ink sacs, right? So yeah, folks, we officially have our food warehouse up and running. I look at it and the flatness bothers me. I ain't gonna lie, but I like building stuff like this, which is a little bit more depth. So I might come through here later and maybe give it just some concrete walls or something. I don't know, just a little bit more oomph to it. But again, I'm trying to get over it just because warehouses are pretty flat and they're pretty monotonous and uninspiring. So, folks, with that, I think we're going to start to wrap up the episode here. I'm super excited to have automated food. I'm going to have to probably AFK in here overnight and just kind of see how much food we get. And that's probably going to be something I have to do a few times throughout this lifespan of this series, especially as we start getting way more dinosaurs. But before we leave the outro, I've got one more thing I want to show you. In the beginning of the episode, we were naming all those dryos, and we had so many that my name tags didn't fit in my inventory at the time, and so I forgot that we've got Jill, Aaron, Annette, and Dylan. So, real quick, you're Jill, you're going to be Annette, you, sir, are going to be Aaron, and our last boy is going to be Dylan. Welcome, everybody, to the park. And thank you all for watching yet another episode here on the Sauropod Squad channel. I hope you guys have really been digging it. I'm really excited to have that food up and running. I can even show you guys what it looks like. Whoops, I got F5 and flying backwards. We changed up the Vista view, so over there looks a little bit different, and I'm happy to say we've got a big warehouse up and running, functional. And that place is going to look really good once we get a few more buildings up and running. I don't even know what they're going to be yet, but I'm sure we'll figure it out as time goes on. And then, of course, go through here with paving. We got to get another big monorail station over there as well, so that'll add another big backdrop to that area. And then, yeah, as time goes on, our park's going to get closer and closer and closer as we get over here and fill up the Cretaceous area, folks. But yes, with that, we're going to end the episode here. Also, random side note with the music, I realized it was Moo Moo Farms and Moo Moo Meadows. Both of them are racetracks, so I was correct on that. If you guys were wondering that. Maybe you weren't, but anyway. Anyway, folks, I do hope you enjoyed that episode. I hope you have a great rest of your day, but until next time, adios.